Well, well, well. And here we are. How's it going, everybody? And a happy Sunday to everybody out there in Saberland and on YouTube and the streaming world, social media, whatnot. My name is Harry Solo. You may or may not know me, but by this point, I'm going to stop doing introductions because I'm getting tired of saying who I am. So if you're on my channel, you know who I am, and that means you also know the next two lovely gentlemen that I have joining with me on the stream today. First up, we have Juan Sith. He needs no
Hey,
introduction.
how are
My
you?
man, the myth, the legend, who's been in the game for longer than anybody can remember. And right up next behind him, we have our good friend and absolute masterpiece font maker, 4ZFX. How you doing, sir?
What up, dude?
Hello.
Happy Sunday. I don't know, just
Happy
hanging out.
Sunday to everybody. Juan, how are you?
Fine, and you?
Doing good, doing good.
Awesome.
Awesome, guys. So, we're just gonna kick back, hang out. I got a couple things I want to go and demo and talk about today. I've had a few questions roll my way lately that I want to touch on, and yeah, it's not gonna be a super long stream today, but while I got you here, let's
Oh,
start by going off around the boxes here. Juan, I heard your N1 Starfighter font that you dropped, and then I kept was that the Four Sins Hatred
yeah.
or
No,
Anger?
fear.
Yeah,
Fear.
Fear. That's right, man. You want to talk a little bit about that? Because I know you've been working on both of those for a while.
Yeah, especially the N1. It was supposed to be released a month ago, but I just halted it. Um, and the fear, the Four Sins, it's just like a pet project of mine. So I just try to just embody an essence of a feeling to a font, which is kind of challenging, but
Yeah,
it's also fun because I'm trying to make at the end of the day I want, if it's going to be like five fonts of the Four Sins, I just imagine how each would sound at the same time, just to have a harmony. So yeah,
that's
it's
awesome.
challenging, but it's pretty fun.
Now you just got to get one of those five-bladed sabers and then load it up onto each one,
The
and then
razor blade.
yeah,
Yeah, the
the
Swiss blade
umbrella from
saber.
Visions.
Yeah. Oh Jesus, let's not go there.
Force, how you doing, brother? I know your impending return is nigh,
Oh
and we're all super excited about that. Any,
Yeah,
we're like what, days away now, right?
yeah. Within probably the next 10 days or so. I'm waiting on some last minute paperwork stuff to go through. Uh, of course, you and I got to get together to look at that one thing that is coming out pretty soon,
Yep.
finalizing another one, and then of course the uploading process uh, takes a minute, but I'm hoping the official date will be 2 weeks from yesterday. That's my hope.
Awesome, awesome, man. I'm definitely looking
nice.
forward to that. Oh boy. So I guess it's my turn. Today is the launch day for a font I've been working on for a while. Tierfont Orbital is an awesome vendor on Etsy. He's making some really cool custom saber cases right now, and he's also doing custom sabers as well, which I am this close to pulling the trigger on one of them. His Corin Horn V2, absolutely gorgeous saber. I mean, the time and effort that he puts into making that saber look the way it does, and all the little greeblies and stuff, like how he sources them, is that's right up my alley. I love stuff like that that's inspired by the Star Wars universe, but also takes elements from artistic creation and like found parts. And I don't know, I
What's
love
his
it.
name?
It's Tierfon Orbital, Tierfon Orbital. I can pull his shop up here and
No,
I'll show it on the screen. But
Tear Font Orbital.
Yeah, so he came to me with a request for he wanted a NASA themed font. So
Oh, nice.
let me see here.
Cheer
Yeah,
fun
so
or yeah,
Etsy
fun.
this is
store.
his
Okay.
site. And actually that first picture you see on the top left there,
Ooh,
that yellow, blue, and purple case. Can you guess who that one is for?
for you.
Golly.
Yes, sir. That is my custom case that he made, and it's going to be coming my way real soon. That blue greebly on the top there is actually a speaker grill. So the purpose of that is when I'm going to be going to conventions and stuff later this year, I'm going to put like a Beats pill or a similar Bluetooth speaker inside the case and connect it up to my direct audio Saber, my MPP right here. So when I'm walking around the con, I'm going to have it plugged into my case, walking around. And whenever I turn the Saber on, you're going to hear that thing from across the con. I mean, it doesn't matter how many people are screaming and hooping and hollering, you're going to hear my Saber. And that
Nice.
is what I was going for. And he made that possible. So I am so excited for this. And I'm really excited that I was able to make a font for him. He came at me with the idea to make a NASA themed font based on the Saturn and the Apollo rockets. So when I first heard that, I'm like, I mean, that's cool, but like, how am I going to incorporate rocket engines into a sound font? Because that's a very harsh, like almost destructive sound. You know, you have to think about how you're going to incorporate that into a weapon, like a lightsaber weapon. How is that going to sound when you're flowing it around and turning it on and off? So that was a big challenge for me that I had to think about, and I'm really happy with how it came out. Um, I'm going to tease a little bit of that here in a minute, but before I get into it, I did want to ask you guys, get your opinion on this. Have you ever been asked to do, commissioned to do, or even just came up with an idea on your own, a font that was really out of the box and you had to think about a different out of the box way that you had to approach it? So we all think about how we make lightsaber fonts normally with a hum and blaster deflects and clashes because we know what sounds make up a font. But I've had, like the Princess Bride one and, like this NASA one when it's like, this is not a lightsaber. So how,
Yeah.
how have you guys, have you ever had anything like that?
Forze?
One of the very first very difficult commissions I ever did was back in the CF8 days, and I did one based off of Darksiders 1 and Darksiders 2,
Ooh, okay.
and getting a hum for it was nearly impossible because the weapon was a scythe connected to a chain. There was no smooth
Yeah.
swing back then, so you can't make the clinging chain smooth swing sound. All you had was what you had, and getting the hum in that font was near impossible. But thank goodness my commissioner was as accepting as he was. I actually had to take a little bit of the theme song because it had this little choir in it, and it was this really low, almost episode 3 oh sort of thing. So I kind of took a bit of that with some war drums, doom, 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 and it made for a really fantastic hum. And the rest of it was just a nasty chain clinging. So, and
I've
of
played
course,
that game and like I'm just thinking about it like I wouldn't even know where to start.
I didn't know where to start. That was the problem. Like, I had nothing to work with. So I went back to him and I'm like, dude, what do you want to do here? And he's like, just make me a font. I was like, okay.
Just do it.
And I
It's up
dove
to
in.
you.
I'll tell you what, when it was done, I knew so many more tools in my program that I never
Yeah.
experimented with before.
Yep.
So that really opened up bold new possibilities and gave me a lot more techniques to use in regular font making, which I never would have discovered had I not done that commission. So yeah, I've had one of those. I had a few of those.
I believe that for sure.
Yeah, I mean, especially when you like, for example, in my samurai theme font, like Orochi or something like that, where there's no like, what's the hum for a samurai sword? So you
Yeah.
have to really go out of the box and think about like actually what's the experience that you wanna like what that you wanna have with a sound phone and your saber. So you start thinking about well, maybe it's not a hum, but it's like an ambient sound, like wind. Where would a
Yep.
samurai be, or something like that that goes along? Or even like I consider smooth swings more an extension of the hum rather than extension to the swings,
Hmm.
and that mindset helps you develop like, okay, if the swings of a katana are like windy, like wind reaping sounds, then the hum should be something similar.
Yeah.
So yeah, those projects are the ones where you learn to master the craft, because obviously when you are making an original trilogy, it's more about being as true to the source. But when you're trying to do something different, for example, it's curious that you mentioned space shuttles. I've in the past month I've been working with space shuttles and space
Oh
sounds
wow.
as well. But it was since for my font for Iron Man, I couldn't get like some sounds for it, especially smooth swings and everything. So I saw behind the scenes for how the sound designers made all the Marvel movies and such, and they took spatials, and that brought me, okay. So I'm going to go like not to the movies, but to the source. So I used it for Tails, but I was very intrigued to what else. I haven't made a complete font with shuttles or anything, but I have them in my bank, and they are pretty amazing. In the sense of, like, especially with smooth swings, the sky is the limit. You can do whatever you want,
Yeah.
as long as the experience it's like it's rich of,
Sure.
yeah, and harmonic. So
Yeah.
yeah, like,
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Hey, Phoenix is in the chat. How you
hey
doing, man?
Phoenix.
Thanks for popping in.
Oh,
Our dude Phoenix.
hello.
Yeah, no, it's like even when I approached it with the NASA font, okay, I mean like yes, the rockets were had to be a big part of it, but then I had to expand on that, and then in the process of making it and expanding on it, I kind of started thinking, okay, well what parts of the rocket do you want to capture, right? It's not just the sound, it's the power, it's the
Yeah,
launch, it's the velocity behind it. It's like the raw energy that's with that rocket. So that's kind of the direction I started to lean more into as I started to make the font. Um, and yeah, and Tier Fawn's in the chat. Hey, man,
Speaking of
we
which,
speaking of the devil, we were just talking about you and
hey,
stuff that you're offering and the font that I made for you, and I'm gonna be demoing that here just a little bit.
that
Um,
sick case.
yeah, man, I that's absolutely epic. I cannot wait for that.
amazing work.
Yeah,
Robert's in the
absolutely.
comments. He's creating his own sound font as we speak. Just
Pretty nice price too.
yep, there you go. Just you can make. I want each of us to make a mouth font. Like, just get your mic out.
Someone's already has.
No, I know.
Someone,
No,
Yeah,
I
someone's
know.
already done it.
I know somebody's done it, but all of ours are going to be different. If we do it just straight up, pull your mic out and make a make a mouth font. All right. Add that to
oh
your list.
nice. Oh, very very meta,
Wow.
very A New Hope. Brought me to Obi-Wan's hot.
Yeah.
Or you could put the hum in it.
But no, yeah, I mean that's the beauty of it. You know, I mean, especially with sound, is your canvas is unlimited, and
Yeah,
the stuff that you can tap into to make a sound font is like even wider range than like what you could do with a blade style or make a hilt. I mean, with sound fonts, the sky is literally the limit and beyond. I mean, it's pretty awesome. He says We should mount. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. Everybody should just do one, and then we'll just make like it'll be like a We Are the World thing, where we all have a mouth font.
Harry, did you
Tips on
share
a
the
on a chipmunk sound effect for my
did you share
mouth.
the
Yeah.
YouTube link on Lightsaber Sanctuary, or do I need to do that?
Oh,
What is that?
can you do that, please? I
Yeah,
think I did forget to do that.
I'll take care of it. A lot of our
Thank you,
dudes
sir.
from there. Yeah, a lot of our dudes from there hang there.
Man, vaporizer's not working. There we go. Don't smoke, kids.
Don't.
Don't vape. It's bad for you. But
All
yeah,
I can hear is Jackie Chan saying that. That's bad for you.
that's bad for you.
That's bad for you.
Don't do that. Oh shoot. Well, anyways, I guess
Somebody has to do a Jackie Chan sound font.
Oh Lord.
what would you even do? Like, there's so much you could do with that. I mean, you could do one for each one of his movies. Like,
Well, like even like it was it Taiwan or China? Well, the Kung Fu Hollywood had like this stock of very specific sounds, even for nunchucks and the punches and everything. It's very specific, and I'm sure like I'm gonna research that now, and I'm going to try and make a Jackie Chan one. I mean his quotes, and then just like very classic kung fu sounds like.
dude, I'd do it. If anyone's gonna do it, you should do it. You're the man to do it.
Or a freaking or like a classic Bruce Lee.
Yeah.
Whoops, whoops.
Oh my god,
I'd love that. Enter the Dragon.
I'm hyped.
Enter the saber.
Oh Jesus. Yeah, and can you imagine Bruce Lee's quotes as a prion? Like very like
Oh, I know certain people who would just freaking die of laughter at that.
Anybody want to do a Witcher font?
It's been
Ooh,
done.
I have to play it first.
Ignis.
It's like
Ignis.
50 hours.
I never got super big into The Witcher myself, but
Me neither.
pretty
Mm-mm.
cool. My girl loves it. So
Oh really?
yeah, she loves The Witcher.
Well, that's good because she could point out some parts of the video game
Yeah.
which could just really narrow the journey.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and I mean now I pretty much exclusively just piss her off by walking around and saying toss a coin to your Witcher all the time at random moments. I'll just start breaking out in song.
Which video games need a font? Like,
Elden Ring. I was just telling
Elden
Harry last
Ring.
night on The Usual Suspects on my stream. I was telling him last night he needs to go ahead and just do an Elden Ring font. And there's so much content that can be done with that. The brand new Halo that just came out, that could use an Energy Blade
really?
font.
Yeah.
And we were also touching on Ghostbusters content. Like there's so much of that can be hit. One or two people took. Harry, was it you who took a layer from the game?
Oh yeah.
Ghostbusters?
Yeah,
I took
for
a few
Xbox and
few
PS3.
elements.
Yeah, I played it. Pretty amazing game.
Yeah, it's
but
like
I
a
don't-
mix of the Phoenix pack, some of the classic sounds from the '80s film, and then
Mhm.
some of the new Afterlife sound effects also.
Yeah, those Afterlife ones are so punchy.
Oh.
Like those are your speaker blowing.
Yeah. Well, and then
sounds.
also with Afterlife, that's the best sound you're gonna get for the turning on of the pack.
Oh really?
Switch on, like where she reaches in and flicks it on right there. That's the
Yeah.
best, cleanest sample you're gonna find of that
No,
proton pack turning
It's
on.
not.
Right there.
It's
No?
not.
You don't
Isn't
think
it
so?
the elevator?
The game is the cleanest one you're gonna
Oh
get.
yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Combine the two together, and then you'll just have the best one.
I have a proton pack. and the soundboard just blue.
What was
Yeah.
that?
I don't know.
I have to remember to like turn my gain down before I start flipping through fonts all the time. Otherwise, people are just gonna start like freaking out. Like, what was that?
Yeah, somebody make a good Ghostbusters one because my proto pack needs one.
Oh
I
man,
don't know.
I can't do that one. That'll make my
Nope.
ears melt off.
The fact that the Neon Cat already exists is like, you're killing me. That one
Well,
did not need to be done. It did not
yeah,
need to be done.
no. Somebody out there wanted it. I mean, hats off to them, I guess, but that's not for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My ears would bleed in the process of trying to make it. Like trying to see if it loops cleanly, having to listen to the tail and the start like over and over again, just oh, I'd go
Okay,
nuts.
so that leads me to a question for you guys. What font were you so sick of by the time you got your project done? What
Um,
font annoyed you the most by the time you hit save?
Okay, let me check. Several, I can tell you.
Juan knows.
One that comes to mind, one of the closest ones, which I said, okay, it's Seraph, the angel one, Seraph. Yeah, it was a daunting task. Um, Tie leader.
Mm.
Yeah, I went to sleep with like Tie fighter sounds in my head. Oh Jesus, Jesus. Yeah. Um, Animatrix, the Matrix one, but it
Oh,
was especially because it was hard. Like you had to listen to all this music from the Matrix, which when you're just watching the film is fine, but when you're trying to cut it out to get like a very
Yeah.
like sound, it was like ugh. But like normally it's pretty fun, otherwise we wouldn't make it. What about you?
Had to be my font Knighthood, which has a lot of high pitched, very monotone still spot. It's honestly based upon a bell. Like it's based upon a bell and glasses with water in it with at different heights. So it's and a tuning fork. So you can only listen to that crap for so long before your head rings.
it's like
Oh,
torture.
mhm.
It is. By the time I was done with it, all that source material, I was ready to delete the crap out of that. No, but I've still got it. I mean, a lot of people like the Knighthood font, but I can only stomach it for a very short amount of time, and eventually I made it free. I was
Yeah.
like, done with that.
I did my bad shot biker, which is like the robot chicken speeder bike
Oh,
font. So it's just a speeder bike font, but there's robot chicken elements in it, and it's more like on the comedic side of it. So it's a funny font. But by the time I was done with that, I was like, I'm so done with this. Like, I just want to get back to making like a Saber font again. Like,
Mm-hmm.
the comedy stuff is really not for me. Like, I can do it real quick if it's like the croissant font that I did, like the free croissant font that I made. That was a joke, and I made that in like a half an hour, and it was like, okay, that's fine. But like the bad shot biker one, I was like, by the time I'm done with hearing that hum of like the speeder bike, just I'm like, okay, like I'm done with it. Like I don't even have that loaded up on my Saber anymore. I'm like, it is what it is. I'm gonna go back and remaster it eventually, but I rue the day where I'm gonna have to actually do that.
do you use headphones when you're using like doing fonts?
Um, it depends what time of the day it is. So yeah, typically I will. Because I'm like I work until late at night, and I get home late, and everybody's asleep, and I got to be respectful. But I have some pretty nice near field reference monitors that I use for the daytime when I'm just chilling at home. That I'll pump my sound through. But like when I'm doing a final EQ check on my fonts, and I want to really like make sure everything sounds the way I want it to, I'll throw on my pair of Sennheisers that I got right here, just because I've used these for so many years for audio reference, and they're tip top. So I'll use these as like a final check, but typically most of the time I'm using my standard monitors.
Oh, hello, doggy. What's his name?
Her name is Rosalie.
Her.
Aww.
She's pitiful. Come here, Harper.
Is
Come here.
that Black Lab?
Yep. And here's my chocolate one.
Oh,
Say hi, Harper. Oh my goodness.
I have a
you're
half lab, half Dane, and he's like
pitiful.
160 pounds.
oh, jeez.
Yeah, he's a literal tank.
Wow. I don't
Dangerous
even
weapon.
wait
I'm so
much.
bad. Right on camera.
I guess while we're all here, I can show preview another little thing I've been working on. Speaking of remasters, that kind of brought me to another topic. So, obviously, with me, I'm a newer smith, and my commitment to the community as far as making fonts is I want everybody to be happy with their product as long as possible. And that goes as far back as, hey, did you buy a font from me a year ago? And let's say now there's something that's like different about it based on how boards are updating and technology updates with new OSs for software.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds might change and how they're played. My skills might change over time, and you might like how I incorporate elements in my newer fonts compared to how they are in my older ones. If that's the case, please let me know. Like, shoot me a message. Say, hey, man, I have this font, and like I really like the sound of like font B. Is there any way you could maybe do like a remix or a remaster? Absolutely. Like, let me know, because I'm all about doing that. I'm not like, I don't just throw my stuff into a trash when I'm done with it and move on. It's like everything I have is in a working folder, and I'm like constantly
Yeah.
going through it, playing with it, listening to it over and over and over again. I'm never satisfied with my stuff after I post it. Like that might just be the artist in me, but like I'm always so close to just scrapping everything and starting over. Like
Yeah.
it takes a lot for me to push myself over the edge to even say I'm done and then release it. Like I have to have motivation from other people and be like, yep, that's good, dude. Like just publish it already. Otherwise I'll be sitting for the next 3, 4, 5 months on one font, like changing a file here and there. Like, no, this has to be this way. This has to be this way. But I just would like anybody, if you have a font that you think would be better a different way, or if you have a request, shoot me a message, let me know. I can always make it happen. And that kind of leads into like the font that I've been working on, Phoenix Redemption. Some of you might have that font, you might be familiar with it. That's one of my favorite fonts that I've done. It's kind of based on a fan video game for Star Wars called Star Wars Redemption. The character is a really awesome character that I really hope gets more screen time in the game, and hope it gets published, because it's the story of this Jedi who was a general in the Clone Wars, and she got some really cool armor set up from the Kaminoans, I guess, and it looks like clone trooper armor. So, and then Order 66 happened, and I guess she's still alive, and then trying to figure out like what happened and kind of figure out stuff about her. But I kind of wanted to incorporate elements of that into my font. So version 1 is kind of what I'm leaning towards now to be pre-Order 66. And then version 2 is going to be post-Order 66. So like, let's say after Order 66, something happened to her saber, and then she had to repair it. Or something, it got damaged and she had to change a few things here and there. Or she got a new crystal. So I've been kind of trying to incorporate that into this version 2 of this font, and then add new elements that I've learned in making things. Yeah, I'll just kind of I'll wave it around for a minute, let you guys hear it. Tell me what you think. So that's the version 2. And if anybody knows what version 1 sounds like, it's pretty vastly different on the smooth swings.
It sings. It sings.
Yeah,
to
I
you.
love the there's like a
Yeah.
Yeah. That's really kind of what I was going for. Is just
Nice.
that chorus vibe, that like almost melodic, like it tells a story by playing with the font. Like it really just gets you sucked in. I love it. I'm addicted to this font. But I got so much that I need to change on it, because that's just who I am. Like I'm never gonna be done with it. Like, and then
Publish it.
commission
You're done with
loads
it.
and yeah, no. I do actually I believe I actually did upload the Smooth Swing version 2 for free. It's already on the pack on the Dropbox for anybody that's purchased the font. So changes that I do make to fonts are always going to be free, and they're going to be uploaded to the original link that you have. So if you have the link, save it and check on it from time to time. You never know. You might just find a new sound in there. I try
Nice.
to keep an updates log on my site where you can see anytime I make a change. I'll go on there and say, hey, this is what I changed. I added this. So you can keep tabs on what I'm doing. But save those links because you can get some new stuff. And if you don't have it, reach me up. I can give you the stuff.
I
No
think
worries.
it's almost about to be like ready for publishing. I mean, to each his own, but when you feel like it, like a project, when a project is stalling and it's just staying there in your dead, like in your um, in your computer, you see that folder. Just it's better if you just let it out than just keep it there until I don't know. Like it has happened to me that when that I just leave a font half finished according to me, which I'm never satisfied with, and then another font maker just releases a very similar one, and I'm like, okay, I cannot release this anymore. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, if right now I thought it was pretty cool. It was like it sounds like a pretty nice experience. So you should just release it now.
I think it is actually. Now that I'm talking about it, I'm pretty sure I already put the V2 up on the Dropbox. So I'm gonna check that right now just to confirm.
Yeah, you can always update it later. Just if
Oh
you
yeah,
need to
they're up.
fix
The new
something or
the
anything.
new the new Smooth Swing files are up. It's in a folder called New Files. So if you like that font and you have Phoenix Redemption, go grab those new Smooth Swings.
Take advantage of that extras folder. That extras folder is the best thing ever. People can go in and customize all their stuff, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's nice. It's nice to have.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's scary if people even
Cheeto.
dig around the folder or just copy and paste everything to their savers because on the extras like I tend to put a lot of extra content even smooth strings without bass in turn like in case you have a speaker which is kind of rattling around or something like that I put baseless swings and everything. And sometimes I've had a couple of times where people ask me, "Hey, you mentioned that there was a baseless swings folder," and I said, "Yeah, it's on the extras." So this is like a reminder that everyone should just check all the contents because you might find some surprises there.
Little goodies.
Yeah.
Hidden goodies. I did see somebody ask, Katarn asked, is your background from Battlefront 1? And isn't that
No, that's
the
Bespin.
Carbonite
Yes, yes,
jammer?
yes. This is
Yeah.
a carbon freezing from
Yeah.
Bespin Battlefront.
That's the classic. That's the classic set piece right there.
Yeah, yeah. This is actually yeah. This is the stage.
You know
It's
what
an
I love the
original
most about
fictional.
that? The stairs.
Oh yeah.
The lit stairs. I mean, if I ever build my own house, I'm gonna build a staircase, and it's gonna look just like that.
I know, and I mean nobody like. I don't think everybody knows this, but I'm aside from making, I'm a director of photography in film and TV series and everything. And this stage, how it's lit, how everything, all the lights are directly embedded to the architecture. I mean, the
Oh, it
orange
looks great.
lights on the stairs, and you can see the lights on top. Yes, you have smoke and it's like backlit, but these kind of moments made me want to become a filmmaker. To be
You don't
honest,
see you don't see set pieces like that anymore
No,
because
no.
it's all CGI now, right?
Yeah,
And if you look at that, all of that's practical. Like everything on
yeah.
on the ceiling piece right there in the
It's
middle of the
practical.
room, it's all handmade. All of that. It's so awesome.
Yeah,
Phoenix
and
asks,
and
and he
it's
says, in some cases you can. For another reason, your smooth swings have a tendency of being able to be used without the accents. That's a rarity right now. He says you and Kay sit through that a lot, where the smooth swings are so verbose they're usable on your own. That's a
yeah,
that you know, and I also try to stand by that policy too with the smooth swings. I try to make them as like unique and they be able to stand on their own as they can. Like because the smooth swings I feel bring so much life to the saber, and it's if you just go like if you just put a hum on the smooth swing and then you got to add something more to make it punch, like give that variety, a little bit of tremolo here and there goes a long way.
yeah.
A little bit of ring mod goes a long way, things like that. Like,
Especially when the in my theory, when you are like wielding a saber, 90% of the movement it's the smooth swing.
yeah,
So if you just make a monotonous sound to reach to the accent swing, that's good if you're trying to achieve accuracy for an original trilogy.
yeah,
Since you in the original trilogy, like in films, because they are films, you have hum separated from swing, and in between, Bember just made a swing.
yeah,
But now you have all this swoosh sound. This you have to feel the void of this movement. So it reminds me of my first experience with a smooth swing saber. It was back in 2017, and it was just like a vacuum cleaner sound. It was just like and I'm like, no, that's boring. I mean, yeah, the combination between high swings and low swings kind of make a harmony, but to me, I actually rather just work, even if it's the high swing and I just copy and paste it as a low swing, but I just try to make a whole sound where you have this Doppler effect by itself. I don't rely on the transition between high swing and low swing because again, CFX and Profi don't have the same range. So it's better to just work on a smooth swing, trying to imagine the movement, the speed of the movement and the impact. So yeah, that's how I'm trying to think about smooth swings now.
yeah, man. I agree. That's like with my Princess Bride one with the rapier. Like, obviously, I had to think about it a little bit different because I want the smooth swings to blend and feature the accents more. Because with that one, it's a sword, right? So you want it to
Yeah,
hear like. So I made the smooth swings more just kind of like a like just to kind of lead into the accents more, and that fits for that font. But typically on a lightsaber, if you're moving it back and forth just a little bit, right?
yeah,
I want to hear that thing sing. I want to hear it crackle and pop, and like I want to hear it as if like that blade is like making the air catch on fire, because that's kind of like what it's supposed to be doing. Um, yeah. So
and also variety of sounds, even in different smooth swings. I think what keeps the like takes the illusion away from like that the fact that it's your saber doing the sounds is if you start catching the ends and beginnings of a sound, even if it's a hum. If sometimes even if it's a Vader hum, I just put three different versions of the hum M1 or hum 1, 2, and 3, and it could sound the same, but not really because I just go up and then down, 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 because
yeah,
I think that gives like that engages you like to the experience the same as smooth strings, even if they sound the same. They aren't, because like you moved it a little bit and it sounds "Wing," but then you moved it a little bit more and it was "Wing."
yeah,
So rather than just have if your mind follows a pattern, it gets bored after time. So you have to think about how you can make the experience richer by just making these tiny variations, like you said, tremolo or
Yep.
something like that. You see the timeline and you see, okay, I'm going to put a little bit of tremolo here, and then I'm gonna go down here, and my
Hmm.
high swing too is going to be a little bit different in pitch, maybe.
Yeah.
Things like that are fun to make, and I think um, people, when they're playing with their sabers, it feels like it's endless. It's like playing a video game in which you don't see the borders or the barriers. It's more to,
Surprises your ears. It's a constant like, oh, what's that sound? I want to hear that again, and then it makes you want to keep playing with it and keep swinging it around and try to find that sound again. And then you hear another sound, and you're like, whoa, I heard
exactly.
something different that time. Like
Yeah.
that I love doing that.
Thank you, Phoenix.
Force, any comments on the topic of smooth swing variations?
You know, smooth swing is hands down from go from the start probably the most difficult addition to font making there's ever been, because you have to first of all you have to play with the levels and know you know where your highest high is, as in terms of loudness. Number two, you have to play with ranges so that your smooth swing does not, go over your accent swing if you have to use accent swings. And I guess the third problem, we tend to have is if you try to make different pairs. I'm not suggesting everybody needs to use the same pair over and over. That's boring. However, coming up with my magic formula is 4 and 4. Some people do 8, some people do 12, some people do 3. Somebody's even done 1,
Yeah.
and made it work. My magic formula is always 4, and four pairs,
Yeah, 4 pairs.
because that's really all the range you need. I mean, because honestly, you're not just gonna sit there and just do this with your saber. You're
I mean,
just
I do.
not. But for over and over and over again,
Yeah.
it's like, I mean, it's
Yeah, I do it all day.
but I mean, to me, they're just not that fascinating. I just want to make sure that they're not the same freaking thing over and over and over again. But when you're
Yeah.
dealing with Star Wars content, you only have so much to work with, and a lot of folks are really tough on those who make it sound too much like the hum. But you have to remember that the smooth swing is an extension of your hum. It is not, because you got to remember, your hum is going to make one solid noise. You're going to hold it still, and that's your hum. When you barely move it, that should be an extension of it standing still. It should not be a preamble to
Yeah.
your accent swing, because
Exactly.
if your accent swing is, if you're going from a high range to a low range, then you don't want your smooth swing to go. No, you don't want that sing-songy crap. It's, if you have one solid hum, then your smooth swing needs to be. That's how it's meant to be. Getting that can be very hit and miss. It can be very hit and miss.
Yep.
There are fonts that I've done that I've nailed it. There are fonts that I've done where it's like, I can't get this range to change without drastically changing the sound of the smooth swing. I've got a font out there right now that when you swing, when you're figure eighting, you get 2 completely different sounds. It works magically, but it's not what I was going for. It's my oh my god, it's my Darkness Reborn. It's my Revan font, because you've got a it transitions back and forth between the two. The transition is smooth, but I was lucky that it worked, because that was originally, when I was creating it, that was a commission for a friend, and he's like, dude, I need a growl in there, and I'm like, I can get you a growl. and the growl ended up sounding very by itself. I'm lucky he liked it. I'm lucky it still works, and I'm lucky people still enjoy, having it. But yeah, man. Honestly, smooth swing is the most dreaded thing I do in a font. It's probably the last thing I do in any font. It's the very last thing, and I dread it. I just dread it. I hate it. I hate smooth swing. I hate making it, and it's like, ugh. I'll be working on it forever until it's right, and more often than not, I just get lucky before it's right.
You must become one with smooth swings.
Smooth swing can bite me. I'm so done with it. I honestly was wishing that the board makers would have just created a better algorithm so that the hum does the work itself, that the hum gets louder, gets quieter depending upon how you move it. That would have been a really nice formula to have.
Isn't that kind of how it used to be more? Like the hum would just kind of go on a pitch bend scale?
Yeah.
No, not a pitch bend. No, on a volume bend, yes. Geez, I'm Crow. Who was it who did it very well? NEC. Scott from NEC. When NEC had his boards out, the NEC boards were actually very, very good at blending in and out between your swings and your clashes and whatnot. I really dug that feature.
One question, like in terms of original trilogy, where the Vader, like on Empire Strikes Back, Vader's hum is just like the monotone, and then his smooth swings are these like high pitched sounds. How could we achieve that if it's just like a difference in algorithm from the hum?
You have to manually do it yourself.
Yeah, like in this, like with Profi and CFX, it's fine. But how you say it, the fact that the algorithm would make a smooth swing from the hum, how would it make a high pitch smooth swing if it's just taking the hum and just amping the volume or the pitch or something like that? It wouldn't be possible.
I wish I were
right?
more tech savvy because I honestly haven't done that much homework into the boards themselves.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of fine if how you say you consider the smooth swing to be an extension of the hum and not an extension of the swing. That's what made it like it was a puzzle for me. For example, for the Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan Kenobi Episode 1 font, for 2 years, I couldn't manage to have accurate smooth swings because I was relating the smooth swings to the accent swings. And I was like, what do I have to, I don't know, try to make the accent swings that they use in the film, like to extend them, to make them longer or time them or something?
There's a trick that you can do to actually make that work, and I've done it. It's in my Kylo Ren font. I got really, and I'm actually going to share a secret here. I got really sick of how all the Kylo Ren fonts sounded the same. Everyone was flipping out and losing their mind over, look, there's a third version of this Kylo Ren font that's unstable, and oh, look, there's this crossguard version 17.6, and it's like, it's all the same freaking sound. I got tired of it, and I didn't want to do a crossguard. I didn't want to do a Kylo font, and when I finally did, I pieced it all together, and I lit it up for the very first time, and I just sat there in complete disappointment because, okay, great, Forrest, you made a Kylo font. Now, how does this stand out from all the stuff that's currently out? It doesn't. It absolutely does not. It's all the same Battlefront 2 ripped sounds. Sorry to ruin it for you kids, but a lot of that stuff is ripped straight from Battlefront 2.
Oh,
So,
really?
absolutely.
Wow.
So what I had to do was exactly what you just said. I had to go back into the movie and look for very, very unique mid-speed swings, not the hard swings, not the slow moving, but something a little mid. And fortunately, I found a few because you'll notice that in Force Awakens, Kylo, he likes to do the little spinnies,
Yeah.
zoom, zoom, traitor. So I grabbed a few of those, and I did an elastic stretch, and then you blend it into your smooth swing. So what happens is that when you're moving it and you change directions, it'll be like, and it's really, really nice. And that's what makes mine stand out from the others. The fact that you could do something like that and it works. I got very lucky,
Yeah.
but I got so tired of all the Kylos sounding the same. So I wanted to change it up. And you can do that with literally any font you want to. If you're tired of how your smooth swing sounds, take an accent swing that really stands out, an elastic tool, stretch it, and try to blend it in as best you can, so that, because remember, like especially on CFX, when you change directions, a new pair starts as soon as that direction changes. CFX is awful about this, because what'll happen is on CFX, when you change the direction, it doesn't transition smoothly.
Yeah.
It skips. So you'll be like, and it's only CFX that does that. Profi doesn't do it. Golden Harvest doesn't do it. But yeah, CFX does that, and on Direct Connect, you can really, really hear it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a trick I discovered a couple of years ago, actually, and I was just very, very pleased with how that turned out. And it's been something, and if the situation calls for it, it's something that I do, and it's just another trick you can use to make your smooth swing stand out. So yes.
Yeah.
Going back to what I said earlier, yes, the smooth swing in all intents and purposes is supposed to be an extension of your hum, but you can tweak it and kind of give it that little sprinkle of your little spice on there by tacking on a really nice little piece of your accent stretched out.
It's
And
funny you mentioned that too, because, and I'll show a little bit of this, a sneak peek, but on the Eighth Brother font that I'm working on, I wanted to, it was kind of a similar situation, right? Because it's the Inquisitor sound is the Inquisitor sound, right? Like the Inquisitor saber sounds the same between all of the characters, except if you notice, the Eighth Brother, actually, his saber sounds a lot, well, it is Pong Krell's saber, essentially. It's the Pong Krell saber with the Inquisitor hum, okay? But when he has those spin elements in there, it does sound the same as the Inquisitor sabers when he spins it. And I really love that sound, and I wanted to put that into the font, but staying true to the Eighth Brother, when he swings his saber around, it sounds like Pong Krell's, like his smooth swings. So when I was kind of working on this font, I approached it in a couple different ways, and I tested it out in a few different ways. And what I ultimately came to, that I think sounds the best, is I took part of that spin sound and I layered it in at a couple spots into the smooth swing, and it blends. So that way, when you're just kind of slightly moving the saber around or transitioning to a different hold, like a different grip position or a different stance, you'll hear that spin ever so slightly come in and out, just that wah 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 wah. Like as you're slightly, moving the saber, you'll hear just that da da da. And it sounds so great. I love it. And I'm going to just show a little bit of what I got so far. It's not done, but this is the Eighth Brother from the Clone War, from Rebels.
Let's go.
There it is, right there. You hear the little wah wah just in the smooth swing. Gotta get those sounds in there too. There's the Inquisitor. So
Bro,
yeah,
you know what sells me on that? It's the whistle. I love the whistle that you got in there. That gives it that really nice, mysterious, spacey feeling. That that's
oh,
that's
it took
icing on the
so
cake. I
long.
really like that a lot.
That hum, literally, I'll tell you, it took me weeks of tinkering, day in and day out, a little bit here, lunch break, a little bit
Those
here after
clocked
work.
hours.
Oh, dude, getting that hum loop was so challenging because you never hear it for any
Yeah.
good length of time in Rebels or anything like that. So you really have to get crafty about how
Yup.
you get that sound. Um,
We'll let the dogs in. Be right back.
cool. But yeah, no, I in that one you can hear just in the smooth swings. I did incorporate some of that spin sound, and you just catch it every so often randomly, and it just you hear it. Your ear picks up on it like instantly. But it comes at those moments when you're not expecting it, and that's what I really feel captures the essence of that character, because he's jumping around, spinning. His attacks are real violent and real fast, and you hear that kind of audio when he's fighting with Kanan. Um, I'm happy with how it's coming out. So
I'm actually quite not disappointed in your work, obviously, but I'm disappointed in the fact that what we were talking about yesterday, the fact that all brothers and sisters have the same hum.
yeah.
I was like, because like I was looking into to one of the characters, and I'm like, do they all have the same hum? It
hmm
was extremely disappointing because
Yeah,
it's like, what?
they
I mean,
there's variations in some of their sounds, but just in the hum, it's all the same for all the Inquisitors. I mean, I love it though. It's one of my favorites, so I don't have
yeah,
a problem with it. But I wish there was a little bit more variety there. Maybe we'll get some in Kenobi.
hopefully,
I'm
yeah.
hoping.
I'm hoping because it was like, oh, geez, the same hum for I thought that was the hum for the Inquisitor, and the I don't know, the eighth brother, the seventh sister. Like we said, the second sister doesn't even have a recognizable hum for
Yeah,
herself. It's like,
not that we hear, and that's the funny thing is we don't actually hear what Trilla's saber's hum genuinely sounds like. We get elements of it in her swings and her slashes against Cal, but we don't actually hear a hum from Trilla. And I've checked on this, trust me, we don't actually hear one. So I would speculate it would sound pretty damn similar to the rest of the Inquisitor's sabers because of how her other sounds sound, but I do think there is room for variation there because we do know, like the fifth brother, his accent swings are a little bit deeper, and the what is it? The second sister and the ninth sister, their swings are different just between those two. You know, the ninth sister's is a lot more meaty on the swings, a lot more low pitched than Trilla's is. Um, Repulse says not true. And I think that's in reference to Trilla's hum not existing. Um, I will delve into that a little bit more. So yes and no. It there is a hum there, right? But you hear it. Siri takes Trilla's saber, then Knight's Cal. Yeah. Okay, maybe I have foot and mouth, but as far as I'm concerned, all the Inquisitors sound the same. Inquisitor lives don't matter.
oh Jesus.
They're terrible.
It's used for the 9th and the 2nd.
Used for the ninth and the second.
I dissected that
They
game.
dissected that. Oh, okay. Hey, I did too. Brother. Well, hey, we'll chat later about it.
Sarah takes Trilla Sabers, then Knight's Call. That's where you hear her hum. Is that like a cut, like a cinematic?
I think it is a part of the cutscene.
Oh, okay.
every font maker watching this stream is going to YouTube right now and looking up the cutscene. Well, we're hitting about the hour mark, and I don't want to keep people waiting too much longer because I know some people are around to see the release of my new font. I know Tier Font is here. So I would like to show Orbital for you guys. Get your thoughts if you'd like. And yeah, and then we'll circle back to what we were talking about. Let me make sure I'm on the right font before I start going. All right. So this is Orbital. This is Tier Font's custom commission. Without further ado, here we are.
3, 2, 1.
Golly, that saber looks pretty damn good on the camera right now. Anyways, I'm just going to kind of dissect things a little bit as we go through the font, and then I'm going to kind of stand up and wave it around, do a little grand demo for you. But anyways, so this incorporates elements of the rocket, of the classic Saturn and Apollo rockets themselves. Another big request that he asked for was the Quindar tone. It's a classic beep that you hear in any NASA communications. You hear that beep, beep. That was a big ask that he had, so I layered that in there.
Get closer to your mic when you talk.
Okay, how's that? Cool. So another element that I incorporated in, you'll hear briefly, is you'll actually hear radio communication chatter between Apollo Mission Control and you. Just to add a little bit more dynamic to the hum. As we get into some of the smooth swings here. I really wanted to capture the feeling of an unstable rocket engine, really just once you've reached the outer atmosphere, you're about to shift into hyperdrive. What's it sound like when the craft is just about to spool up, leading into these really awesome accent swings. And as we were talking about before, the accent swings are not so punchy that they take away from the rest of the font, but they really give that feeling like you are just flying by another craft in space. A little bit of sounds that I use for that actually come from real recordings of rocket motorcycles taken from the, the Salt Flats out in, called Bonneville Salt Flats. There are people out there going race custom-built rocket motorcycles, and boy, it makes one hell of a sound. Leading into our power off, which is actually incorporating elements of hyperspace exit from the Star Wars films, and the power on element is hyperspace entry. And then
3, 2.
A couple other filler sounds. Our blasters, of course. And our clashes. Supposed to capture the sound of debris hitting your craft, like you're going through a small asteroid field, hitting some objects on your way out of orbit. They bounce right off your shields, no problem, so don't worry. And lockups, of course.
Roger, shut down. We copy 101.4 by 103.6.
More of those NASA elements in there.
Apollo 11, this is Houston. You are confirmed to go for orbit.
And if we get the melt working, sometimes it's a little tricky on my demo blade, but I couldn't not use a klaxon alarm. My favorite alarm from any ship in Star Wars. I had to throw the klaxon in. But yeah, that's Orbital. And that is available now on my site. It is a custom commission, but as his request, he wanted everybody to be able to enjoy it. So it is available now. You can pick that up if you like. It is
Dude, that had
available
to
in
take
all formats.
so long to make, man. There's a lot of layers and a lot of work in that. That was really, really in depth. Like,
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
bro,
I
that's
very
spent a lot of
phenomenal
time.
work. That's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Thank you. I put a lot of time into it. I've been spending basically, as far as like, because I'll work on some of my projects and then I'll work on commissions at the same time. This has been my exclusive focus as far as commissions go for the past like almost 2 months now, I think.
Dang, dude.
Tim can tell you better, but yeah, thank you. I really appreciate the kind words there. It's a lot of effort went into that one.
Yeah, he
I
knew
really
what he
like
wanted.
how you use the hyperdrive sounds. It's really
Thanks,
nice.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted something really punchy that just
Yeah.
captures the sound of a rocket, but rocket launches as we have them now are not really that exciting until they get all the way up in the air, right? The actual taking off from the pad is a pretty slow going process. So I had to think, how can I kind of speed this up a little bit? And then, hyperspace. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. That's sick, dude. That's got to be one of the best things you've done.
Thank you.
And the
I
work
appreciate
shows.
it.
The work shows, bro. I hope that gets a lot of attention. Like, if I were you, dude, I would try to get a hold of some influencers and get them to share that. Like, what's his face, Sems Nerd, and a lot of other folks. Just get that out there and get people hyped up for that. That's worthy of some notice.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I've gotta step my social presence game up a bit, but now that I have some more time, I'm gonna be dropping this like a full demo video for it probably later today up on the channel here. Obviously, anybody can watch this and get the full kind of detailed breakdown, but yeah, it's been a lot of fun making it. I love doing these custom ones. For me, it's almost more fun than trying to tackle a Canon sound. I mean, we got you two legends here that have done amazing Canon work, and
Thanks.
I like to come at things with some, like, how can I do something out of the box that somebody hasn't even thought about doing before? And then how can I take that and then make it something everybody wants? Like, I don't like making something that just one person's going to buy. I like making something that anybody is going to be able to enjoy on their lightsaber, because you never know. I mean, something might have elements that you might enjoy, and then you might be able to take pieces from it and turn it into your own cool personal font for your own use.
Is
Not
there a
to be
video
resold.
already?
Not to be resold, for your
Not
own
to
use.
be resold.
Underlined, for your own use.
Have you already made a video demo for it?
No, I haven't yet. I will be doing that probably later today.
Yeah,
Using my nice camera, do it up close blade profile.
Yeah, because
Finally got these dogs to settle down.
Oh.
Well, dude, I appreciate you having us on. This was
I'm probably gonna close it out here. It's been about an hour. Good short stream today. I appreciate you guys joining me on my channel and bringing some life to the room besides just me talking about my stuff. So thanks for joining me, Juan.
Thank you
and
for
Forrest.
inviting us.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not sure if I'm going to be doing one next week, but I'll be in touch with you both. Alrighty. And everybody in the comments, thanks for joining in. Thanks for shouting out. Thanks for joining, chatting in.
Thank you, Qatar, Phoenix,
Yeah,
Tier
Tierfon,
Fun, awesome
Repulse,
work.
Phoenix, everybody.
Brandon,
Repulse.
sorry you
Appreciate
couldn't
it.
be in here with us.
Yeah, Robert.
All right, y'all, and be safe. Enjoy the week. May the force be with you, and we'll talk to you soon.
See ya.
Bye.